US President Donald Trump is back on the scene, and this time Europe and Canada are really angry.
If they don't make their product in America, then very simply they should have to pay a tariff.
Tariffs, calls for boycotts and trade wars. Is the United States creating a serious rival for itself instead of neighborhood? Let's take a closer look at all the developments as relations between the two sides are strained. Donald Trump is considering new tariffs on cars and many other products from Europe.
It will definitely happen with the European Union, I can tell you that. They don't take our cars, they don't take our farm products, they take almost nothing.
But how has Europe reacted?
So what does that mean for Europe? Are we heading for a global trade war again?
The European Union says it does not want an unnecessary tariff war, but how much does Trump care? Since his inauguration last month, Trump has revived trade war rhetoric, pointing to high tariffs on European goods. Meanwhile, he has yet to clarify how he plans to end the war in Ukraine, a key campaign promise, within 6 months.
When I'm president-elect, and what I'll do is I'll speak to one, I'll speak to the other, I'll get them together. That war would have never happened.
European leaders see both issues as important tests for the transatlantic union. Denmark in particular opposed Trump's suggestion that the United States could take control of Greenland for security reasons. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen insisted that Greenland was not for sale and warned of a tough response if Washington pursued its claims.
Greenland is today a part of the Kingdom of Denmark. It's a part of our territory, and it's not for sale.
Trump's tariff threats echo previous trade wars with Europe. During his first term, the president imposed tariffs on European steel and aluminum, prompting retaliation from the European Union. Leaders have since been in talks with Canada, which recently imposed tariffs on United States goods in response to a 25% tariff. So, what is being said on the issue? French President Emmanuel Macron said that the European Union is a force standing on its own territory. Macron added that if the United States imposes tariffs, Europe must respect itself. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen emphasized that her government has broad European Union support in rejecting United States claims over Greenland. Everyone must respect the sovereignty of all national states in the world, and Greenland today is part of the Kingdom of Denmark, Frederiksen said. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte acknowledged United States concerns, but emphasized the alliance's commitment to the security of the Arctic. Rutte said that it is absolutely clear that Trump is right, and when it comes to the Arctic, collectively, we must do more. Now about the boycott. United States companies have faced a boycott over Trump tariffs. Consumers in Europe said that if the United States is going to treat us like this, we will not buy their products. If brands like McDonald's, Apple, Nike are boycotted, things could get messy. Do you think Europe would really do that? Let's take a closer look at the situation. President Donald Trump's tariffs on Canada have sparked outrage in a country where there are growing calls for people to boycott American products.
With 25% U.S. tariffs now confirmed for Canadian products, there are no talks of boycotting U.S. products.
Trump's announcement that Canadian products would face a 25% tariff was followed by retaliatory measures announced by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and a call for citizens to buy Canadian goods instead of American ones. Ontario's Premier, Doug Ford, said his province was banning American companies from provincial contracts until the tariffs are lifted, and joined another Premier in reducing sales of American liquor. There have also been calls on social media for Canadians to rethink their investments in United States companies and their patronage of American firms, including McDonald's, Walmart, and Microsoft.
McDonald's, but I never did. I'm running against somebody that said she did, but it turned out to be a totally phony story. So if you don't mind, I want to work the French fry counter.
Gary Sands, Vice President of the Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers, said Trump's move has led to unprecedented demand from consumers who want to know if products are made in Canada. Gary Sands did not expect retailers to boycott American products, but said the movement among consumers to avoid United States-made products could grow. They want very visible signs that it's Canadian when they walk into the store, Sands said. So why does this matter? The Canadian Chamber of Commerce said Trump's tariffs could significantly damage the Canadian economy and shrink its gross domestic product by 2.6%. While Canadians switching to local goods may not immediately hurt the much larger United States economy, the trade dispute could affect other critical areas of integration between the countries, such as energy and security. First of all, the following should be known. Prime Minister Trudeau responded to Trump's move by announcing a 25% tariff on $30 billion worth of United States goods coming into Canada.
Good evening. Today, the United States informed us they will be imposing 25% tariffs on Canadian exports to the United States and 10% on Canadian energy,
which will be applied to $125 billion of American imports later this month.
Today, the United States informed us they will be imposing 25% tariffs on Canadian exports to the United States and 10% on Canadian energy.
The Prime Minister said Canadian